You might have heard the page turn. I was checking to see Contact's noms because Contact was also nominated for an Oscar, but it was for Best Sound. I thought we might have had a little head-to-head action. We didn't.
The sound in Contact was pretty good.
Yeah.
That blong noise.
Yeah.
Who won Best Visual Effects?
I don't know. I'll guess Titanic.
Let's go with it. I like it.
I know it came out in 97. Wasn't it nominated for like 70 Oscars?
I assume it won every Oscar.
It didn't, but
I'm going to assume that.
Excuse me.
Hello and welcome to the Critical Breakdown, the podcast where we start at the bottom of Rotten Tomatoes and work our way to 100% fresh. I'm Max.
And I'm Scott. Today we're talking Starship Troopers. Rated 63% on Rotten Tomatoes. Paul Verhoeven.
Paul Verhoeven.
Verhoeven?
Verhoeven.
That's weird.
Weird. What you been up to, Scott? What you been watching?
Not much. I watched Panic Room. I never saw it.
Never seen it.
It's on HBO Now. Probably also on HBO Go and HBO. But I watched it on HBO Now. And I like David Fincher a lot. But I hadn't seen that one, so I watched it.
Jodie Foster and Kristen Stewart.
That's right. And Forrest Whitaker. And Jared Leto. And that's all your heavy hitters.
Is it good? Did you like it?
Yeah, it's good. It's not my favorite Fincher by any means, but it's not my least favorite. I didn't like Fight Club that much. But this one's fine. It's small scale, very tight. Very tight narrative.
Yeah.
And for such a simple idea, they execute a lot of twists on it.
Did you panic at all?
No, because I wasn't fearful for myself. The panic in the movie felt very real, though. So
that's cool.
Yeah. Like, Kristen Stewart has diabetes. She needs to get her insulin. But they're trapped in the panic room.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah. It was cool. It was like a cat and mouse game. You know, except the mouse locked themselves in a room that the cat wanted to get into.
That would be a nightmare. Leaving your medicine.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
They ended up sort of working it out, though. She lived. It was good. I recommend it. Not a world beater by any means, but I've watched worse movies. I tried to watch Neighbors 2, Sorority Rising. I got about 15 minutes in, and I decided, you know what? This just isn't for me.
The first Neighbors was better than I thought it would be.
I liked the first Neighbors. I thought it was fine.
There was good jokes.
Yeah.
The De Niro part made me laugh a lot.
Yeah, with Dave Franco.
Yeah.
This one starts off with a lot of body humor, and it didn't work for me. Like some vomiting, some queefs. Yes, queefs the plural?
Queeves?
Or is it like queef is both the singular and the plural?
Some queef. I don't like some queef.
So we'll say some queefs.
Or queeves.
I don't think there's any version to like. Yeah, it could be like a leaf and leaves thing. Yeah. I think that's what it's going to be. So queeves. Queeves. Yeah. One of the nice things about doing this podcast and watching so many crappy movies is I just realized I don't have to sit through a crappy movie anymore. If I don't like a movie, I'll just turn it off.
Yeah, the only crappy movies you're sitting through are for this podcast.
Yeah, like I watch these, but if I don't have to anymore, my time's more valuable than that. Yeah. So I turned it off. Aside. And I don't think I'll try it again. I'm sure it got better, but
I have realized with some movies that I might be enjoying, but I'm not dying to finish. I can pause them and leave and come back, and I used to not be able to do that. Sometimes you have to.
Do you still come back though?
If you're
not dying to finish it and you stop watching.
Not dying in that situation, I'd probably just be done with it. But if it's like, oh well, it's a good movie, it's not great, but I have to go do something.
Yeah,
I'll come back to it.
Even with good movies these days, I find I do that. Like The Wolf of Wall Street, I watched in 4 sittings, I think.
Because it's like a 4-day-long movie.
Yeah, and every lunch break for 4 days I watched it. It was great. That's what you gotta do. You gotta squeeze them in, It's like putting on a pair of jeans that you wore back in high school. Am I right?
Just like that.
You just gotta squeeze those buns in.
Getting ready for the 10 years. Squeeze your buns in.
Yeah, because you have to wear the clothes you wore in high school so that all your friends would recognize you.
That should be a rule.
Yeah. No, please don't.
I'd be in like a ratty Rage Against the Machine t-shirt with like khaki pants frayed at the bottoms with safety pins holding them together.
The safety pins is what puts that look over the edge.
Yeah.
I feel like the safety pins weren't necessarily there for utility. It was the look.
Yeah, I mean, it really was.
At one point, my senior year of high school, I got really into the look of wearing like a button down, but unbuttoned and totally open with just a white t-shirt under it.
See, I think I did...
I call that my Kramer face.
I did the white unbuttoned button down, but with a black t-shirt underneath.
Ooh, you took it another level.
Yeah.
I bow down to you.
That was, it was a good way to wear like a lot of the same types of clothes over and over without thinking much about it. Steve Jobs does that, so maybe we're onto something.
You know what's funny, though? That's actually a really funny segue. You didn't even realize it. Because I watched Steve Jobs again. I know I've talked about it on the pod.
Nice.
I'm realizing how much I love that movie.
If you were to ever bring it over like you keep promising, I'd watch it.
It's on HBO. Or it was. I don't remember now. But
I don't know if it is.
It's so good. I never get that
it's a
hankering.
Great screenplay. It's a great
I know
screenplay.
you've read the screenplay. Yeah. I never get that hankering to rewatch a movie like right away.
Yeah.
And I watched it, like 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And yesterday I was just like, I want to watch Steve Jobs again. And I did.
That's always good when you have like that instant need to rewatch.
I just realized how good it is. The writing's incredible. Aaron Sorkin. Yeah. He's the man.
How I just said some movies I stopped. When I sat down to read that screenplay, I sat and read it in one sitting.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
awesome. It was that good.
No.
So.
Yeah, we should watch it. Let's watch it tonight.
I'll watch it. I don't know if you can convince that one down there to watch it, but I'll watch it.
Wow.
She'll probably be asleep then.
Yeah, so perfect. What have you been watching?
Well, we're working through the final season of Party of Five.
It's been a while since we've had an update.
I took a little break. They're all older.
How much older?
I mean, it's like the next year after I probably gave an update. But Jennifer Love Hewitt has left the show. Okay. We've reached the stage where she had a spin-off series called Time of Your Life.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
You were watching, I think, or found a YouTube clip.
We found a very low-quality YouTube clip, YouTube upload of the full first episode, and we watched it, and it is just bad.
Are any of the other characters from the show in it?
Only her. But I will say this, Jennifer Love Hewitt plays her same character, Sarah, and then her roommate immediately, I think, becomes Jennifer Garner.
Oh.
So that's an appeal to the show, but
it's an appeal to me.
It's not very good. It's too different from Party of Five to like carry over. Like it has inner monologue sometimes, and Party of Five never has inner monologue.
Like narration.
Yeah, so it's like her like this is because that story is her trying to find her birth mother has died. She found her, and now she's trying to find her birth father.
Was the birth mother a plot in?
She was adopted. Yeah, so this is her trying to reconnect with her father's side of the family. So she leaves. But in Party of Five, it's just back to business basically.
Any of the Salingers dead?
No.
Anyone on the brink?
Griffin, Julia's ex-husband, was in a motorcycle accident when he was fooling around with Daphne, the mother of Charlie's child, who's his ex.
Daphne's back in the picture then?
Yeah, but
didn't Daphne leave the baby with Charlie?
Yeah, but now she's like a family friend. So that they're
not the mother of the child. Okay.
Okay.
So she's back in the child's life.
Yeah. She's not very good though.
Well,
but she's all right.
It's an uphill battle, but
they did add a Latino character.
Oh.
Named Victor. And he's played by the same guy, which I know this doesn't mean much to you, but from My So-Called Life, who was a gay Latino in that show.
Right.
He is in real life as well. But he's in this as well, so he's getting typecast.
Wow.
But he's their new babysitter.
Okay.
There's a lot in Party of Five. You asked for the updates.
Yeah. No, I did. I don't have much to add.
Yeah.
You know.
Other than that, I've been watching Vikings.
Yes, you did stick with it, right?
Yeah.
No, you know what? Last week we asked if you're going to stick with Wayward Pines.
Yeah, I haven't touched that again.
Okay. Well, nice try, Midnight.
I've just Yeah, they're okay, but I just there's better shows I can watch.
Yeah, that's why they call you hit it and quit it max.
Says the guy who walks away from Neighbors 2.
I tried, though.
But something I did not hit and quit was Wet Hot American Summer 10 years later.
Yeah.
I won't go into too much detail because I know you're planning on at least watching the movie soon. Or at some point. You've mentioned it. Last week you were like, maybe I will watch that.
I think that was Tony. Our friend Tony was talking about it. I have never made concrete plans to watch it because I don't think it looks that interesting. But I know you love it. So how's the 10 years later?
It's pretty good. I like it overall, but I think their First Day of Camp series was way better. So, this one has some good jokes. It's pretty funny. There's some stupid spoofs and subplots that I really enjoy. There's a political intrigue going the whole time with Michael Showalter playing Ronald Reagan and Michael Ian Black playing President George Bush.
Weren't they also characters, though? And
they were playing good characters as well. So
right.
But so there's this whole stupid plot that when it finally comes together, it's pretty funny. And then there's just some details with like a murder that happens that adds to that subplot. So there's a lot of weird stuff that's going on there.
10 episodes, 12 episodes? What do we got?
I think it's like 8 or 10.
Okay. Are they going to do more?
I don't know, because where it ends, it seems like almost like they're saying we're done with this.
Okay.
But at the same time, they can always jump back in and be like, we weren't done, and this is how we're going to fix it.
Yeah, which is kind of how you want to end something when you don't know if it's going to keep going.
Yeah. But I would say the movie's still my favorite.
Yeah.
And then First Day of Camp is amazing. And this one's like just fun. It's good. If you're a fan of it already, you'd be a fan of this.
Would you call it fan service?
No, because they do some weird stuff. There is the movie as well as First Day of Camp has Bradley Cooper playing a character.
Yeah. And
I'm guessing he was just too busy to come back. So this time he's been replaced with Adam Scott, who the whole plot line there is he's had a nose job.
That's funny.
And they keep mentioning it like, oh yeah, his nose job. So
I guess that's one way to get around that.
Yeah. And I mean, they're acknowledging it so obviously that it's funny. All the old pictures of him are still Bradley Cooper.
Yeah. Maybe they could, for the next Wet Hot American Summer series, they could bring Bradley back because it was just announced that after Guardians of the Galaxy 3, that whole crew's done with the series.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Yeah, because it's so successful and Chris Pratt's such a star and stuff.
And, I mean, who knows what Marvel will do next?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know enough about the source material of Guardians of the Galaxy, but apparently there's other Guardians. And 2 is pretty good, I thought.
It's rumored that Sylvester Stallone wants like some action with those characters they played.
Okay.
I don't know if that'll come to anything, but that's just a rumor I've heard.
He's old. He'd definitely be like the oldest Marvel hero, right?
That'd be kind of cool, though.
Yeah.
You watch anything else, Scott?
I haven't, but I do want to hear your Vikings update.
Oh yeah, no, I've just been working on season 2. It's still good. I'm enjoying it.
Had you watched through this point on your first pass of Vikings? Because you'd watched some before.
I just picked up before I left off.
Oh, okay.
And I talked to other people about this. It's a show that like, in some episodes they jump like 5 years.
Yeah.
Some episodes it's back to back.
That's interesting.
So yeah, like the time's really strange. So sometimes you can just take a break from it and come back, and you don't really feel like you've lost anything because they're going to do something weird like that. But
do the characters visibly age?
Not as much as they should.
Yeah.
But some do. For example, in season 1, you have your main character Ragnar, who's married to Lagatha. Nobody can pronounce her name right, but she's played by Catherine Winnick. And they're together. They have 2 kids. And then at some point in season 2, they're not together. And one of their children, you see them older, like teenager maybe.
Yeah.
Almost full-grown man. And there's a reason why it's been like 10 years or something.
Yeah.
He's aged. They look pretty much the same. So,
even the kid? Oh, no, the kid is aged.
The kid's aged. Like, he's an adult now.
It's a different actor.
It's been, like, a certain amount of time. But, yeah, it's a different actor. But they're, like, those two were the same. And everyone else is the same. So, there's things like that.
Pillaging and raiding, it's good for the skin.
Yeah. I don't know if that's true, but...
I doubt it, but...
I can't say I've tested it.
I'm giving Vikings an out. That's what I'm doing.
No, it's a fun show. I like it.
Yeah.
It's I think season 2 so far has been way better. in season 1.
Is that a completed run now, Vikings, or is it still airing?
It's still airing. I don't know if this next season's its last or not, but...
And how many are they at now? I feel like it's been around a while.
It's like 5 seasons now, maybe.
Good run.
Season 2 has Donald Logue, which is one of my favorite character actors that shows up in a lot of stuff.
That was Tink Getaway from Charlie St. Cloud.
So I love when he shows up and stuff.
Yeah. There was that weird story where his daughter got kidnapped. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I think she was...
Was it officially kidnapping, or did she run away with somebody older, or...
Yeah. It wasn't necessarily kidnapping, because
she was missing for sure.
Yeah, they put out a APB for her.
Yeah. I'm glad they found her and that she was alive. What they did was
all that,
positive ending so far.
Good for the Logue family.
Yeah. It's always scary.
But it was just, it's not the kind of headline you see that often.
Yeah.
Like any major actor asking for help in finding, or any celebrity really.
And it's also if you did see that, you expect the worst.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it didn't go that way.
Yeah, so. When you see something like that, in my mind, I just assume the person's dead.
Yeah. Because
it's not fair to expect anything different.
I mean, it's just, it's hard either way.
For sure.
But that's a real big sidebar, guys. But it's worth the discussion.
Yeah. You know what else is worth a discussion? Our podcast reviews.
What-oh. So yeah, guys, we're gonna sometimes read out some podcast reviews we get, just to encourage people and to say thanks.
Yeah, a special shout out for the special someones leaving special reviews.
And our first special someone we want to thank is Nixon Lemke Justice Gant 9.
Say that one more time.
Nixon Lemke Justice Gant 9.
Okay.
They said Scott has hot takes.
Oh.
I love a sack full of hot takes, and Scott is the Santa Claus of hot takes. Listen every day, and it is like every day is Christmas.
Hey, I always got a full sack. That's a very odd review. How many stars?
5 stars.
They do love hot takes. Though.
Yeah, we're only going to read 5-star reviews, guys.
Yeah, so don't even bother with your 3-star
You can do 4 or 3, I'm just not going to read them.
Am I really like a hot take machine?
You've been a hot take machine before, for sure.
I don't have a problem with it.
Not always.
I stand by all my opinions.
I think it's just when you have a hot take, it's like scorching hot.
It's fresh out of the stove.
Yeah. Then our next one is a dynamic movie podcast.
Is that the name of the reviewer?
Well, that's the subject.
Gotcha.
Sorry. And it's by GTG409Y.
Say it one more time.
GTG409Y.
Gotta go 409Y.
Yeah, 409. Yeah.
What part of the country is the 409 area code from? Let's find this person.
We'll do some
research. Let's DDoS them.
I think it's Idaho.
Okay.
I'm so happy I found this pod. Scoots and Max do a great job of elevating a normal conversation on a movie you've likely seen, but probably haven't heard much about. From your regular babblings with friends to a sophisticated level that skirts pretension. It's a great listen. Thanks, GTG409Y.
GTG, now I feel like I'm going to let you down whenever I bring up farts or something. We talked about queefs for 2 minutes at the start. Queeves, excuse me. Damn it. That's why you listen G to G, Idaho.
Yeah. We bring hot takes and we discuss it, man.
Next week, listener, that could be your reviewer reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next week.
But this week we have to talk about Starship Troopers.
We do.
I said that in kind of a downer way, but what I mean is we have to talk about Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to go positive.
Yeah. It was, yeah. What's the plot synopsis for Starship Troopers?
Humans in a fascist militaristic future do battle with giant alien bugs in a fight for survival.
A tale as old as time.
Song as old as rhyme.
I love that song. It's such a good song.
It's not in Starship Troopers.
No, but I think it might be my favorite Disney song.
Mine are probably all from The Lion King. But just like Shakespearean drama.
That's why I love Starship Troopers so much.
It's true.
It is kind of Shakespearean. I don't know if that's even true.
I'm not going to say it is, but I'm not going to argue with a hot take.
I don't think that's a hot take.
It's not.
You want a hot take? This movie's fine.
Yeah.
And I stand by it.
I'm not even sure that's a hot take, but it's true.
Paul Verhoeven.
Yeah, so this movie, I feel like some people love it.
Yeah.
I'm more to the love it side because it's just ridiculous.
Sure.
I think there's a very small subset of people who maybe don't get the satire parts of it.
Yeah.
And they just genuinely love it because it's cool action. And there's some people who are like, this is fine. It's worth a watch at least once, and then you can move on.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where you fall more with that.
My launcher is probably on that hill.
Yeah.
There's also people who really don't like this movie.
Yeah,
and I get that.
I'm sure.
This movie is a satire of your classic sci-fi military invasion kind of movie.
Yeah.
Think Battlefield Earth.
Yeah.
It's kind of a satire of a movie like that.
Yeah.
And the satire, I don't know. It's not tongue-in-cheek per se. I think it's very on the nose, and it just might not do it for you.
It's intended to be on the nose almost.
Yeah, it definitely is.
I don't know if we discussed that beforehand or if you knew it.
Yeah, I knew. I knew it was satire.
Because, I think anybody starting to watch it, it's aged a little bit.
Yeah.
So, for the first 20 minutes, you might be like, I don't really fully understand what I'm supposed to be dealing with here. And then it probably clicks after that. So.
Yeah. It's definitely an odd movie. I'm not one to forgive bad acting and writing. It's tough with a movie like this when, at least from the writing standpoint, that's very purposeful.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say if it succeeded, and I just don't like it, or if I just don't like it. I don't know.
I think some of the actors handled the very simple writing, as far as dialogue, a lot better than others.
Yeah.
I thought surprisingly Jake Busey handled his lines and Dina Meyer handled her lines a little bit with a little bit more depth than Casper Van Dien and your girl Denise Richards. They delivered their lines fine, but there wasn't a lot of nuance in the performance, which, like I said, the writing's not that mature, so I get it.
Yeah. Well, the Friendly Ghost himself is supposed to be a really stiff character, so it's hard to say if he failed to bring a dynamic character or if his character is purposefully stiff and it's a satire of the hero of these kinds of stories. It's a satire of your Johnny Good Boy.
Yeah.
So it makes it a tricky one to evaluate. I'll say this. Here's a hot take. Basic Instinct is 10 times better than this movie.
Yeah. I'd say, having seen both pretty recently, I'd go with Basic Instinct.
Basic Instinct, I was thrilled the whole time.
If you had both up right now, I'd probably pick that.
Easy.
But if you had Total Recall up, I'd go with Total Recall.
That's fair.
Probably my favorite Verhoeven.
Yeah. Mine might be Basic Instinct still.
That's fair.
I really liked it.
Showgirls is pretty high for me too, but that's a different story for a different day.
If Starship Troopers is a cult film, which it is kind of, it has a cult following, Showgirls is even deeper.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I've only seen the ABC Family version.
Doesn't count. It counts, but it doesn't
They
count.
draw on shirts.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Literally.
So yeah, as we said, this is Paul Verhoeven.
Yes.
It's one of the big reasons we picked it, because we had such a good experience with him before.
Yeah, and he's a pretty big director.
And I think as far as direction, I really don't have many issues with the direction in this film. The action's pretty dynamic for aging.
The only thing...
The logic isn't always there with the military parts.
No, but it's not supposed to be. That's the trick of it. The action was funny. They would have scenes where there'd just be 7 people just standing there shooting their guns, and I know that's purposeful.
Yeah.
It's not really all that interesting to watch the whole time, though.
Yeah.
But...
I guess the not thrilling sense, but you did feel the danger, I felt, watching it. You knew... from right away, people are going to die in the movie, so it's kind of it's kind of using that trope of just military death to propel the story, and I feel like it worked pretty well. Once you realize everyone might die, it's oh, okay, yeah, let me keep watching this.
Yeah.
Let me see if Johnny Rico dies.
Spoiler alert.
Johnny Rico.
He doesn't.
But he kind of does.
Wow. Well, what didn't we watch?
Well, we did not watch The Finest Hours, which I think you watched recently.
Yeah, I watched it a few months ago. I really liked it. It's just a safe family movie. Casey Affleck plays a Bostonian ship captain.
Yeah.
It's the role he was born for.
So I think he's done that at least twice so far.
Chris Pine was great.
Chris Pine is usually great.
Yeah.
With the exception of
Jack
Smoking
Ryan.
Aces.
Oh.
I can't say that he wasn't good in Jack Ryan. I got too bored.
That's not a good review.
But that's not on him.
I actually think The Finest Hours is a fine movie. So.
Nice. Yeah.
It's on Netflix, so if you want to watch it, give it a go. It's harmless.
What about The Magnificent Seven?
Didn't bother with this one.
Me either.
I heard it was really boring from some people. But for some reason, I'm really into Peter Sarsgaard.
I thought you were going to say boring.
For some reason, I'm really boring.
No, I'm really into boring.
Oh.
Like as a follow-up.
No, I'm really into Peter
Sarsgaard.
Sarsgaard. Yeah, I always we watch a movie and I'm like, could that be Peter Sarsgaard?
And it's like Whoopi
no.
Goldberg, yeah.
Who was the one, John Rhys Meyers? I got confused with. And he plays the villain, and Ethan Hawke I like. So there's pieces of a puzzle there, but I'm never gonna put the full picture together. I don't think.
Hot Tub Time Machine.
This movie's so damn good.
I love Hot Tub Time Machine.
It's amazing.
The only reason we really didn't pick it is because we're not sure how in-depth of a discussion we could have on it other than love it.
I think we could have an in-depth discussion.
There's some stuff.
I think the real reason is next week's movie is similar.
Adds up.
Genre-wise.
Yeah, the genre.
Yeah.
Speaking of genre, we got Anna Karenina.
What do you mean, speaking of genre?
Just...
Okay. No, I got it. I just wanted to hear what you'd say. And you said the right thing.
Just leave me alone, Scott.
Yeah, Anna Karenina.
This is
Russian?
Yeah, it has doesn't it have a girl?
Sure.
Yeah. So then we have Love Actually, which also has girl, I think.
It has a few.
Yeah. So
I really like Love Actually. I think it's a fun movie.
It's great.
And I know you don't like it at all.
I actually hate Love Actually.
You hate Actually.
So I'm more of a Love Indubitably kind of guy. It's from Arrested Development.
Yeah.
But no, I don't like Love Actually. I think it's a film that is not made for me.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. And I won't insult anyone who likes it because I think everyone can like anything they want. But I'll just say it's not made for me.
Except Master of Disguise.
That's
we still don't forgive you, Prairie Miller.
No, you're going.
Who I believe once you said we should shoot her into the sun.
That's a hot take.
That's a quote from you, my man.
It's a hot take. Bring it on.
Boom. Whip it good. I don't know. Yeah. Bring it on.
Bring it on. Bring it on's a good movie. Yeah. I love Bring It On.
I didn't know it was directed by, I'm forgetting now, but it's a guy who did a bunch of other weird comedy. He did like Yes Man.
Mm.
No, it's the guy who directed Ant-Man. I'm going to forget his name.
Not Edgar Wright.
Not Edgar Wright, but the guy who directed Ant-Man did Bring It On. That's kind of a weird bridge.
Well, I will say I've seen every Bring It On movie at least up until like 2008, 2010.
They're probably still making Bring It On movies.
Might, but I've seen the first 4, and I would say like this one's definitely one of the best.
One of the best?
Actually, this one is definitely the best. But out of the other 3, there was a couple ones, at least 2 were enjoyable. Not great, but enjoyable.
I'll give a special shout to Fired Up. It's a comedy that's kind of a parody of Bring It On.
You've mentioned it.
Yeah. Well, we passed it. It was like 18% or something lower than it should be. But it's a very, very funny movie. And there's one scene where they're at cheer camp and all the cheerleaders are watching Bring It On and they're all quoting every line. And it's very funny. Now I can just picture Max out there on the lawn too.
It's weird to quote... I mean, it's weird to parody Bring It On because Bring It On itself is a comedy.
Yeah, no. It wasn't so much a parody of Bring It On, but it kind of plays off the same beats.
Yeah.
So,
but
it's good.
I do enjoy Bring It On.
Yeah. That's a pretty good line. You know?
Yeah.
We have options. There's multiple movies there that I like.
And there's some that we can't pronounce.
Anna Karenina.
Karenina.
That's it. I think that was it. Let's not even try again.
Let's not. We're just going to deem that is it.
But Starship Troopers feels like a good choice. You know what else is cool about Starship Troopers?
What?
It came out in 1997, just like Contact.
Hey, Contact. That's a science fiction movie, right?
It's been a while, but yeah, I think so.
Jake Busey is in that movie, right?
Whoa. What's happening?
You can't make this stuff up.
Jake Busey Cinematic Universe?
I hope so. Although this is like 200 years later, but...
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, Jake Busey is somehow weirder in this movie than he is in that one, I think.
Well, it's because they have at least 2 violin scenes with him.
There's 2, exactly. I remember because they're very memorable.
There could have been a third, but I didn't remember.
He plays like the hotshot, wants to be a career military guy.
Yeah.
And he also plays a violin.
Yeah.
And that's weird.
It is weird, but it's a weird movie, so...
Yeah, so it fits.
Expect.
The second violin that he played was like neon green and like fiberglass.
It was the electric one.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was actually electric.
I feel like the Ocean Avenue video had a similar violin in it.
It might have. I think Jake Busey's actually the frontman for Yellow Card, so...
Correct us if we're wrong. Yeah, this was written by Edward Neumeier.
Okay.
Based,
what else did he write? Oh, sorry.
RoboCop. I think he wrote RoboCop. But it's kind of interesting because this began as an original screenplay called Bug Hunt on Outpost Number 9.
That's a pretty fitting title.
It is a very fitting title. But
it
then
fits the satire, too.
Yeah, and as they started going through it, they were like, this actually aligns pretty decently with Starship Troopers by Robert Heinlein.
I think just from like a high level.
Like the bug hunt, militarism, like troops and people dying all the time.
Yeah.
And so they were like, well, let's just kind of hodgepodge this together.
Yeah, they bought essentially the naming rights. They changed character names too, but the book and the movie have basically nothing in common other than like those high level plots. But the book is written by a libertarian author,
science fiction writer, Robert Heinlein.
Yeah, and this is not a movie that thematically agrees with him.
No, this takes... It uses kind of the same concepts, but this is from the outside looking in, saying we read a quote from him where he was just saying he wanted to show how ridiculous he thinks these concepts are by showing a utopia that uses them almost for violence, and that's the only thing it's good for, which I just love that was Verhoeven's take on it.
He was like, we'll build this perfect society with all these good looking people and all these military weapons and stuff, and then
it's only good for killing bugs.
Yeah. It's like Paul Verhoeven took that novel and looked at it through a funhouse mirror, and that's his version of Starship Troopers. I think that's fine. I think it makes a more interesting movie than... Bug Hunt on Outpost Number 9 sounds like it's going to be satire.
Yeah.
If you were to try to make a Starship Troopers movie that's true to the original book, it's probably the movie that this parodies. It's generic. It's Bug Hunt Number 9.
And I've read some of Heinlein's stuff, and I like a decent amount of it for what it is. But at the same time, I don't think all of it transfers. He has some weird time travel stuff. He has some interesting moon uprising things. But at the end of the day, it's I probably would take this movie over a straight adaptation of his work anyway. No. So
Verhoeven didn't even read the books, so...
the screenwriter, he read Verhoeven read 2 chapters, and then the screenwriter told him about the rest of it.
Yeah.
So...
Which is fair.
It's fair. How did this movie do in the box office?
This is pretty big bomb. We got an opening weekend, November 7th, 1997, Oscar season, of $22.1 million. It won its weekend. That's not too high, but it beat out week 4 of Bean and I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Damn.
We've hit 97 hard.
97's a good year for bad cinema,
I guess.
Yeah.
Its total domestic run was only $54.8 million on a budget of $105 million. This might be the biggest loser that we've watched from a box office perspective. That's a $50 million loss.
Yeah, we'll have to jump back in. But I think we'll have to do some research if we wanted to see. But that's a pretty strong contender.
I can't think
of the numbers.
One. So yeah, I'm trying to think. Even The Last Airbender made a lot of money. Fantastic Four, maybe it probably had a higher budget. Okay. It probably made more money, but it had a higher budget.
What about Winter's Tale?
I don't think Winter's Tale had that high of a budget. No. That's the thing. You need one of these movies with a atrociously high budget.
The only reason that budget would be high would be actors in Winter's Tale. But
it doesn't get there. But what can you do? So it's interesting. Starship Troopers and Contact both Box office flops.
Yeah,
The
same
fresh
year. Both
movies.
Busey.
He doesn't sell kids. Let's get Gary back in
What's
here.
interesting is it's a bomb.
Yep.
But they've managed to really stretch this series out.
Yeah, it's birthed this like series of straight to DVD / straight to VOD sequels.
Yeah. There was
one comes out
soon
like,
or now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it called? Do you know? Starship Troopers 5.
It's like Uprising or Sabotage or something. Those both sound right. I read one sentence of the plot, and it was just like, Johnny Rico's abandoned on Mars, or something like that. And I was like, I'm not going to read any more of this.
I think there's a little irony to this movie, which is clearly satire and stuff, birthing a series of Garbo sequels.
that don't seem to be satire.
Yeah.
They might be cheesy, but they're not satire.
I wonder if it would even be worth exploring watching any of them. The production value is going to be so much lower. But
I don't think I will.
I definitely won't.
I know he wasn't in like the first sequel they did, maybe the second one too, but he joined up.
Casper Van Dien.
Yeah, because he's done nothing. This is his series. And, I do respect that he's recognizing that finally.
You plant your flag and, that's yours.
You capture the flag and it's yours.
That's right. That was actually a plot point.
Yeah. And Johnny Rico captured that flag.
He sure did.
So we named most of the cast already. It has Casper Van Dien.
Yep.
Dina Meyer. Denise Richards. Jake Busey. Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah.
Patrick Muldoon.
Yeah, he looks like a hybrid. What was it? Rob Lowe and I can't even remember the other guy that I said. Frank Grillo.
Yeah. He really did. I mean, that's a perfect description. Yeah. Sometimes you throw out descriptions where I'm like, I don't really see it, but maybe.
Sometimes I throw out descriptions where I just have the wrong actor.
Yeah, those are the confusing ones. We also have Michael Ironside.
Yeah.
We had Clancy Brown.
Yeah.
Rue McClanahan. That was exciting. She had those weird eye goggles on.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a bunch of like...
Dean Norris?
Dean Norris, that's one. Yeah, I was going to say, there's a bunch of character actors you recognize.
Seth Gilliam, he's another one. He was on The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
He might still be. I'm not caught up on that.
So yeah, it's a
deep cast.
Deep cast.
Deep.
Amy Smart.
Yeah. Well, it's not a cameo, but it almost feels like when she's in 2 scenes.
Now that she's an actress, you're like, oh, look, Amy Smart making a cameo, but it's really just like she's in 2 scenes because this is like her second.
It's more
movie.
like, oh, look, Amy Smart as an extra,
or her first movie.
Her first was Varsity Blues.
So yeah, so this would have been, was that in '97?
I don't think so. We gotta check it though, because that's too much '97 if it was.
I'm pretty sure that's a '97.
99. Wait, what?
So Starship's her first movie.
I could have sworn I read that in the Varsity Blues.
Was it
Ali Larter? That's what it was. It was Ali Larter's first movie.
Yeah.
My apologies, everyone.
Amy,
no corrections needed.
Amy, love to have you in the show.
Yeah.
Straighten this out.
Double date? They're both mine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Not mine because women aren't property.
All right, we're cutting the show here.
They aren't though.
That's true.
This one got an Oscar nom.
Did it for special effects?
Visual effects.
Visual effects.
Visual. It
Those
did not
bugs didn't look great now, but I'm sure for '97, all the bugs looked pretty damn good.
I was just, you might have heard the page turn. I was checking to see Contact's noms because Contact was also nominated for an Oscar, but it was for Best Sound. I thought we might have had a little head-to-head action. We didn't.
The sound in Contact was pretty good.
Yeah.
That blong noise.
Yeah.
Who won Best Visual Effects?
I don't know. I'll guess Titanic.
Let's go with it. I like it.
I know it came out in '97. Wasn't it nominated for like 70 Oscars?
I assume it won every Oscar.
It didn't, but
I'm going to assume that.
Excuse me. And I'm the one with the hot takes. High school, am I right?
High school. So this movie begins with characters in high school.
Yeah, and let's just acknowledge the fact that all these actors are probably in their 30s at this point. Like none of them look like high schoolers.
Maybe some mid-20s. Amy Smart might be your youngest person in this film.
And she wasn't even in the high school scenes, was she?
No.
No. She was just on the ship with
and Neil Patrick Harris would probably be the youngest people.
When was Doogie Howser MD?
Like late 80s?
Yeah.
I'm saying, he would have been not in high school, but he probably was in the the 20s side here.
He's got the slight frame of a high schooler.
Yeah.
He also has the bullying of a high schooler. He's kind of a bully to old Rico.
Cocky. Yeah, he's a little cocky.
He is because he's kind of psychic.
He is, like, really psychic.
Yeah.
By the end of it, at least.
By the end, he was.
Yeah, so
I wonder, do you think that was, like, a purposeful thing?
What?
That's going to be my question for pretty much every detail of this movie, was the fact that all these actors look like they're fully fledged adults, but they were supposed to be in high school. Is that a purposeful thing?
I think with the simple approach and the satire, that it probably was purposeful, but not like to say anything, just like, we're not going to de-age these people, we're not going to hire another cast, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, they could have made them college students or something. And if they wanted to make the ages look more...
They didn't say it was full-on high school, but they had like a prom, so we assume...
I thought it was... Yeah, I mean, the prom's the giveaway.
Yeah. But it was
I never went to my college prom, so I don't know what those look like.
It would be like homecoming, I don't know.
In college homecoming, there's not even a homecoming dance,
I know,
though.
I'm just saying, like,
Max!
It'd be something else, man. Anyway.
It was weird. They played this weird version of future football that was mostly just parkour, when you think about it.
It looked like XFL.
Yeah, it was like XFL and, like, arena football, but there were no walls like there are in arena football. And all... I wrote Juan Rico. That's not his name.
It's Juan Johnny Rico.
Oh, okay. Johnny Rico
yeah.
just does flips over people the whole time.
Yeah.
And then it gets hit by...
and that becomes a plot point later.
It does. Somehow.
But he's in a co-ed football team.
Yeah.
There's a lot of co-ed stuff in this movie.
Very forward-thinking.
Yeah.
We get there by 2197, people.
Mm-hmm. We get there.
Yeah, because Dizzy was on the team, right? Dina Meyer.
Yeah, Dizzy was on the team. She's obviously in love with Johnny Rico.
Yeah.
Johnny Rico's in love with Carmen Ibanez.
Is it Ibanez or Ibanez?
Is there an Enya on the N?
Is there a tilde? Is that what it is?
The Enya.
Yeah,
It's the little squiggle. I don't know either, but Ibanez.
Yeah, the beautiful Denise Richards.
And so Johnny Rico and Carmen are dating.
Yeah.
But Xander, Frank Grillo, not Frank Grillo, walks over and like is flirting with her.
Yeah.
Johnny's like defensive.
He was on the other football team,
yeah,
but went to the same high school. That doesn't make sense.
I don't think he went to the same high school.
They were at the dance, wasn't he, Frank Grillo?
He did go to the dance.
Yeah. How'd he get in?
Honestly, I don't know.
They were, you know?
The high school part, we're spending already way too much time on it. Basically, there's a love triangle.
It was almost like a love parallelogram.
Yeah.
Because Neil Patrick gets in there, too.
Dizzy's in love with Johnny. Johnny's in love with Carmen. Carmen's in love with flying in outer space.
And Dr. Carl Jenkins, a.k.a. Neil Patrick Harris, a.k.a. Dr. Doogie Howser, M.D.
He's in love with being a little shit.
Well, yeah, but he also, like, seemingly liked Carmen, didn't he? It felt like that. Or maybe he was just being a dick to Rico.
Yeah. He probably was trying to impress her or something. They didn't really explore it too much, but...
Yeah, because in addition to being a dick to Johnny Rico, he also, like, tried to practice telekinesis with him. Or not telekinesis, but...
Like, telepathy.
Yeah. Which is a thing in this future.
Yeah. There's a bunch of propaganda constantly, like, are you psychic? Contact the Federation and let us know.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's another thing. The movie is interspliced with news broadcasts, news bulletins, advertisements.
Before we even hit high school, it actually shows like the mayhem with the bugs, shows some propaganda happening.
Yeah, like a reporter in the field, war reporter, getting like torn to pieces.
So like from the first shot, you learn what's up.
And you know what this movie's going to be.
And then you see a guy get stabbed like violently in the leg and is bleeding out.
Yeah.
Then it just cuts back and says 1 year later, high school.
No, 1 year earlier.
1 year early, yeah. High school. And basically the nugget here people need to take away is this government works where there's civilians and there's citizens.
Yeah.
Civilians are people who just live and do stuff. They don't have voting rights. They can earn money. They can, pay their taxes. They can own property, all that. Like, you live a good life, basically.
You're just a person without much autonomy.
You don't have say in your world. Citizens, you have to serve in the federal army, federal military, and then you get your citizenship. You have to do at least 2 years. After that, you can become a politician, a doctor. It's easier to have kids.
Vote.
You can vote. You can serve like a lot more institutions afterwards. You become like an actual citizen. I don't know how much of that I don't remember is from the book.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like it's a weird thing because it's like leaning. The message of the movie is like about fascism and all that, but that part really like they don't sell it as that negative in any single way in the beginning. It's just like, oh yeah, these kids want to serve, which I think is probably intentional. Going back to your question, like they're not trying to paint it right off the bat where you're like, I don't really understand this. You know, it's just it gives the characters a reason to do what they're doing. Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, all of them, most of them all have personal reasons too. Like the citizen versus civilian thing didn't feel like Johnny Rico mentions it a few times, but it didn't feel like his main motivation. His main motivation was his squish. Carmen was joining to be a pilot.
Yeah.
And he was kind of a loser. Like, they showed he failed his math.
He's just dumb.
Yeah.
He's just
She got like a 98 on the math, and they pull up on the big screen his score, and he got like a 35. He's not like mad about it either. He's just like, oh.
He's like, come on, dude.
Yeah. But so he's joining, and Dr. Carl Jenkins joins, and Dizzy joins. Everyone we meet joins.
Is his name Carl Jenkins?
Yeah, I think so. I wrote that down.
That works.
Yeah. I don't remember his name being mentioned that many times.
It was Carl. Yeah. I remember that. Because I thought it was going to be Carlos, but it wasn't.
Dr. Carlos.
Carlos Jenkins. Carlos Jenkins. Yes, so from here...
Here we go to boot camp.
Johnny gets disowned by his parents. He joins up anyway. He goes to boot camp.
Johnny be good.
Johnny be good. Johnny, good boy Tyler.
Yeah, his parents are like, don't go to the military, go on vacation with us. And he doesn't. To me, that's a non-choice. You go on vacation. He's lucky he did, though, because their vacation home got blown up.
Yeah, they get destroyed by an asteroid.
Yeah,
that's shot out by the aliens.
Yeah, the whole alien thing was pretty weird in this. The aliens, just like, the propaganda explains it as the aliens take asteroids from an asteroid belt and just shoot them at Earth.
Yeah.
What's interesting about it is you can either believe that or not, because it's very propaganda style.
Yeah.
So I thought there might be a big twist at the end where the bug aliens were just like a production of the government, and it was like population control or something.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, maybe one of the sequels explores.
I doubt that, but just right off the bat, that would be super interesting if they worked it in the right way.
Well, I also thought that the bugs looked sort of robotic at first.
Yeah. Like
their joints, so I thought maybe there was something there, but...
yeah, so unfortunately we don't get that route.
No.
But we do get some fun boot camp stuff.
It was
bonding.
It was really good parodying of like every boot camp scene you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Hacksaw Ridge has one. Apocalypse Now has one, right? I haven't seen
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket's the big one. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Where you have the drill instructor who's just a total hard ass.
Yeah. And this one is Clancy Brown.
Yeah. He looks really young without a beard. Because I feel like he always has a beard now. He looks really young.
Yeah, so it's like the best unit, basically.
Yeah.
And he trains everyone. Johnny becomes squad leader like really fast.
Well,
Disney shows up, Dina Meyer.
Yeah. Right off the bat, like, Clancy Brown breaks someone's arm. He's like, who wants to fight me? And someone's like, I'll fight you. And he breaks his arm.
Yeah.
And then another guy's like, why are we practicing throwing knives?
And
it's
then
like, we're going to have nukes. And
Jake.
they literally threw nukes. Yeah, it was Jake.
Yeah.
And so he just threw a knife through his hand. It doesn't answer the question.
It doesn't.
It does come up later, though, because at one point someone has to use a knife.
He did actually say, you can't, he was like, your enemy can't press a nuke if he can't use his hand. It's like,
oh, yeah.
All right, man.
It's like,
chill.
Nailed it.
You could have just said that.
Yeah. But it's supposed to be like the over the top.
Yeah.
No.
And it is over the top because some of the things we see are the barracks where everyone's crazy the whole time on their video chats. The video chat service was pretty fun because now we have that.
Yeah,
in 97,
that's real.
Still like a pipe dream. So that's kind of fun. And then that's when you first see Jake Busey playing violin. I kind of like that it added like a Civil War feel to it.
Yeah, it kind of did.
Yeah.
The violin is just a beautiful instrument.
It is. And with soldiers like playing it like kind of an up tune as well as a mournful tune, it adds something to that.
You think of like the soldier in the trench like writing a letter It's like, my dearest Elizabeth.
Yeah, and I think this is, and he was writing a letter technically, so.
Yeah, that's true.
I think this is where Verhoeven really shines with his satire. Like, he knows how to take these tropes, mix them together, make it kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's campy for sure.
It's very campy, but I do think 100% intentional right here still.
Yeah. I think the highlight of the boot camp is they're doing this exercise where they're shooting at just like not models, but like cutouts or something of aliens that also have guns. And they're all running through, and this one guy who you meet earlier on, he's like, my helmet doesn't fit, so Rico takes his helmet off to like fix it or whatever, and then one of the other soldiers falls and accidentally fires her gun and just blows his head off.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
So one's dead, one washes out, and then Johnny, like, resigns.
Well, they shamed him.
He got whipped. That's right, yeah.
It was weird, because didn't he, just before this, get promoted?
Yeah. He got promoted, then he got demoted.
Yeah, after
gets
this
whipped, public shaming.
Yeah. What do they call it, like, administrative punishment or something?
Administrative punishment. Gets whipped.
And then he was just going to quit.
He's just going to quit. He's going down Washout Lane.
No.
And then as he's going down Washout Lane, actually, real quick sidebar. Before we get to the big war thing, we did have the co-ed shower scene.
Yeah, that was funny.
Which I remember my dad, when I first saw this movie, I watched it with him. And I remember getting very, like, upset about that. But it didn't really, to me, it didn't make sense because it was like, no military would ever allow that. That just wouldn't happen.
Because it was a co-ed shower.
Yeah. And, like, all the other things didn't really bother him.
But that did. Everything else in the movie was co-ed, so it almost seemed like gender is a
non-issue.
Well, not even just a non-issue, it's like a non-important thing.
Yeah, it's normal.
It's like irrelevant.
You co-ed shower, sure. Yeah. Nobody's saying anything about it. Yeah. It's 200 years later. But that was my dad's red line, I guess.
Maybe your dad read that Paul Verhoeven was also naked when shooting this scene.
Yeah.
And that's what he didn't like.
So, Paul Verhoeven and the cameraman both got naked on a dare from Dina Meyer.
I feel like Paul was ready to go, though. I bet you he was wearing breakaway pants.
He's probably wearing a bathrobe, just like, let's do this.
Yeah.
So
He's like, someone dare me to shoot this scene naked. As he's just, like, lotioning himself.
God, I imagine that is the truth.
The scene didn't really add anything, except everybody was talking about their motivations, and then Rico's like, I'm doing this for a girl or something. And they're like, is it dizzy? And he's like, no, yuck!
Yeah, then he storms out, and she's like, maybe.
And then his girl breaks up with him at, like, the next scene via video chat. And she does it in a terrible way because she's like, I loved your letter. Yeah. It's great to see you. And she's wearing this, like, I don't know.
Like
I thought it was very attractive.
Like a tight, form-fitting jumpsuit.
And then she goes to this, like, window. And she's like, look how beautiful.
She's like, Jupiter's beautiful. By the way, it's too beautiful. I'm breaking up with you.
Yeah.
Okay. I did that with more emotion than Denise Richards, though.
That's how you know that she just wanted a reason to break up.
Yeah.
Jupiter's too beautiful. We can't be together.
Jupiter's in retrograde.
In reality, she said she wanted to be a career military person, have her own ship and all. But it's funnier to think that her reasoning was because of how beautiful Jupiter is.
I will say, I like how there's bits of exposition. Like, the shower scene distracts you that it's doing exposition dumps by everyone being naked.
Yeah.
And then, like, the breakup letter, I mean, that's a great way to just have them, like, give out motivations and stuff while there's, like, emotions attached to it. No. So, it's fun.
It is fun.
But yeah, so he washes out.
Anyways.
And as he's leaving, he notices everyone starts marching and, like, running, panicking, getting crazier and crazier. He's like, what's going on? They're like, it's war. It's war. And so then he watches the TV and finds out that Buenos Aires, where he's from, is just wiped off the map. Meteor crash into it. Bug meteor. They're gone.
The damn bugs!
So he just goes up and basically gets re-enlisted.
Yeah, he goes to Dean Norris and he says, put me back in. And he's like, you already left. He didn't say that exactly.
It basically did, honestly.
And then Clancy Brown did himself. He's like, is this your signature? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I don't think this is your signature. Yeah. He tears it up. He's like, put your uniform on.
So then they get shipped out.
Yeah. What was the name of the planet? Like Kuldotha?
There's Klendathu.
Yeah, that's where the war
is the home world. So they go there first.
Yeah, just hang out.
They get butchered.
Yeah, so there's a big like mobilization of troops.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get butchered.
They're flown in by Carmen and her weird boyfriend
Xander.
And they're They get flown in, and there's like all this plasma flying around that obviously looks weaponized.
Yeah.
And the captain's like, she's like,
it's random and intermittent.
Yeah, random intermittent light. Don't worry about it.
But then it kept shooting down ships, and she's like, this is not random.
Yeah. And so the ships get attacked. The troops are on the planet.
Yeah.
Their mission goes wrong.
It's like Normandy,
Yeah.
except
shitty.
if everybody turned around. I mean, Normandy was probably pretty shitty.
No, it was, but like not a success.
It's like Normandy if everybody just turned around and left like 20 minutes in.
So they make a major attack. It fails.
That's where that scene was from the beginning.
Yeah, the news broadcast. Yeah. The dude gets torn up, the reporter. And then you realize the man who got attacked at the beginning was Johnny Rico. Boom.
Jay Reek?
Old Jay Reek. He gets...
That's not a good nickname.
It's terrible. It's worse than Rico.
Yeah, he gets like a vagina leg.
Yeah, he gets like just gored.
Yeah.
And
it looks like a vagina is why I said it. Not that I know what that looks like, Mom. So
it just fades to black. And it looks like it's gone wrong for old Jay Reek. But back on the ship, you see Carmen and her boyfriend are like, man, this was bad. Let's look at the list of the dead. And she just Googles Johnny Rico's name right in there.
It's like deceased.
So we're like, oh wait, did Johnny Rico die? And it cuts over to like a green back to tank.
Yeah.
He's floating it, getting his vagina leg fixed up.
They're devagging it.
Yeah, and so his boys run up, and that includes Jake Busey and Dina Meyer, basically.
Yeah, his boys.
Yeah. And they're all like, 3 more days, you'll be out of here, man. Like, whatever. Yeah. And then Busy, Dina Meyer, she runs back up and like gives a big old smooch on the glass.
Yeah, she wasn't giving up.
No.
You know?
She's going to get her man.
Yeah.
And pretty much from here, it's like more battle.
They leave Cold... I already forgot the name.
Clendathu.
Oh,
that's when they find out they're now joined up with the Roughnecks.
Yeah.
With the Ratcheks Roughnecks.
Yeah, because their commander had died in this one.
Yeah. Their whole like platoon was basically wiped out except like 5 of them.
Yeah.
And
the
so
ones
these
we've
3,
met.
Yeah. These 3 and like 2 others maybe join. Yeah. Ratcheks Roughnecks, who actually turns out to be their high school teacher.
Yep.
Michael Ironside.
Yeah, he's the history teacher at the start.
Yeah.
And I guess he got out of Buenos Aires.
Yeah. He just, I guess, enlisted.
Lucky him.
But he was just like, everyone's like, don't talk bad about the commander. He saved my life, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Everyone's like, I hear the commander's a real hard ass.
Yeah.
But he actually was like a good dude.
He's pretty solid.
Like at one, so they have this big battle. Well, the first battle wasn't at the center, was it? No,
this is the fireboat one, the first one.
Yeah.
Where it's like, where Rico throws the grenade in his back.
Yeah, honestly, they all blend together. And that's kind of on purpose, but I don't remember the specifics of this battle other than they won.
He saves like 4 people's lives throughout the battle, and then one guy he can't save from like a flying bug, he just shoots him dead, and he's like, I would expect any of you guys to do that for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, because that guy's going to suffer through that. I get it. There's no way to save him.
And at the end of this battle, he promotes Rico to like something, lieutenant or corporal. I forget. But Rico's proving his
still proving his mettle.
But then right after this, considering that Ratchek, is that what it is?
Ratchek, yeah.
Ratchek. Considering he's such a hard ass, right after that battle, he opens up like a cooler full of like cold brewskis, and a box full of like footballs and stuff, and an electric violin.
And he's like, "Have fun, troops!"
Yeah. And then he just grabs a football and throws it into the crowd.
Yeah.
So it's like
Jake Busey's playing tunes again.
That's the kind of hard ass I want.
And then Johnny Rico, he's just chilling out like moping.
Yeah.
And Diz is like, "Yeah, let's dance." And he's like, "I don't dance anymore."
And he's like, "I'm a corporal. Corporals don't dance."
And she's like, "Whatever." And then
she starts dancing with someone else that we've met.
The guy from
Walking Dead.
Yeah. And Ratchek walks up and he's like, "I'll tell you what I've learned in my years of military. Don't pass on a good thing."
Which is such a weird...
It is. And so Johnny Rico's like, "Yeah, man, he's right." And he's like, "Mind if I cut in?" And starts dancing with Diz.
For 7 seconds, and then they're like, "Want to go dancing?" Or
want to go horizontal dance? And they do.
Oh.
They go to a tent, and they start hooking up. He does some power moves on her.
Oh.
Ratchek throws his head in the tent. He's like, "Hey, man, we're getting attacked. We got to go."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Dude, I'm busy."
He's like, 5 minutes, and we got to go.
Yeah. And he's like, "Make it 20.
Yeah, he's like, is there someone under that sleeping bag? And Dizzy pops her head out, and she's like, make it 20.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if they all died because they were waiting 15 extra minutes for
It'd also been funny
Rico to get his rocks off.
if it was Jake Busey who popped out. Either one would have been good. But they kind of all did die, because then that's like the next big climactic fight.
Yeah.
She found
there was like a distress signal, right?
And they realize when they get to this base, which I'm guessing is the Outpost 9 bug hunt thing.
Sure.
They kept calling it P.
Yeah.
Like, we're on P, Planet P. I don't really know.
For Outpost.
Maybe.
Yeah, so they get there and they're like, man, like, look at all these dead people. And they're like, all their brains have been sucked out. And then Ratchet starts like fingering through their heads.
It's gross.
It was gross. And then I don't know how Disney figured it out, but she was like, this distress call was phony.
Yeah, basically.
And then they went outside and they were completely surrounded by the arachnids.
It's a mega trap.
Yeah.
Not just a trap, a mega trap.
Yeah. And it's not even an ultra trap. It's a mega trap.
Yeah. It's bad.
It's terrible.
They used a ton of ammo. They try to kill a bunch of bugs. The bugs, there's so many bugs, they're making like
bug bladders.
A way to climb up with all the dead bodies, yeah. The big fire bugs show up, the missile bugs, the flying bugs. It's mayhem.
All the archetypes we've seen.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's pure mayhem. I believe Ratchet dies in this scene, as well as Dizzy.
Yeah, I think Ratchet dies first, right?
Yeah, he does. He gets eaten when the firebug...
The one that comes out of the ground gets him, and Rico has to finish him off.
Yeah, and then I believe Rico or Diz or Jake Busey killed the bug coming out. I don't remember. Somebody killed the firebug before it could cause a bunch of trouble.
Yeah.
Want to say it was either Rico or Dizzy. Anyway, they're running to a ship from some crazy pilots who just had to pick them up. Like, send your craziest pilots to pick us up.
And it's just the two we've met before.
Yeah, the only pilots we've met so far, besides Amy Smart. And
so as they're boarding the ship, Dizzy runs in and slow motion gets like stabbed right through the chest.
Like mega stabbed.
Yeah. Not ultra stabbed.
No, mega stabbed. She was stabbed like 4 or 5 times with giant bug legs, is why I say that. But
no, it was a mega stab for sure.
So she dies, and she's like, I don't care that I'm dying, Johnny. At least I had you.
She's like, at least I really get to live.
Yeah.
Except not with that weird voice I just did.
Yeah.
It's not a good Dina Meyer.
It's not bad. It's not good. It's kind of bad. Yeah, so then this is Carmen's first discovery that Johnny's still alive.
Yeah. She's
like shocked. And
he's she doesn't even realize it right away. They start flying away, and then Xander comes back and is like, hey, your man's back here.
Hey, your ex-boyfriend's back there, babe. Yeah. Like, it was kind of weird.
It was.
But then they have a funeral.
Which it involved like putting her body in this insanely large crate and just slowly shooting it out into space.
It wasn't even like a fast shoot. They just like let it fall off.
It was like classic slow shoot.
But then Intelligence shows up, and it's Carl, and he's
Dr. Carl. That's Dr. Carl.
Dr. Carl Jenkins. He's like, yeah, we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to this planet.
They went back to.
We think there's a brain bug.
To Krunansha, right?
I think it was this one they were just on. The P.
Oh, okay.
They're on P. But Clendathu, by the way.
Yeah.
Krundasha. Remember Krundasha?
I think I said Clendathu. Yeah, so they go back down. It's like a nighttime raid.
Yeah. They need to get the brain bug.
They need to get the brain bug.
And another attack happens on the ship. And Carmen and Xander have to abandon ship while the troops are down there working on their thing.
Yeah.
Rico's now in charge
of the soldiers.
The Roughnecks, yeah. So he's handling ground stuff, but then he somehow realizes Carmen and
I don't remember the specifics
Xander
of how that
have been captured.
Maybe they saw the ship.
There was like a escape pods, and she was calling for backup. I think.
Yeah.
Because they crash.
Yeah.
On the P. And the troops are trying to make their way to get the brain bug that they've kind of found from intelligence.
But I remember at one point the troops had given up. They're like, they're dead, man.
Yeah. He himself was like, they're dead. But then he kept getting this feeling. He got to a fork in the caves.
Yeah.
It's like, she's still alive. I can get her.
Yeah.
It's this way. Yeah. But he makes the smart call of saying, I want 2 volunteers. Everyone else continue on the mission.
Yeah.
Not the smartest call, but still smart call.
No, not the smartest.
He had a really good feeling about it.
Some might say it was telepathic. No, that wouldn't be a really good thing to say.
Some might say it, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, At the same time, we're seeing Carmen and Xander.
Yeah.
And they're surrounded by bugs, but they don't get killed by
they're
bugs.
like, why won't they kill us?
She gets stabbed, not mega stabbed.
No,
Stabbed.
this is a light stabbing.
Yeah. Both get lightly stabbed.
Through the shoulder, I believe.
He gets leg stabbed and she gets shoulder stabbed.
Yeah.
Although I think there'd be a lot more blood than we saw with the shoulder stabbing, but...
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it's a pretty alien world, so...
Maybe blood bleeds differently there, so...
Yeah. Maybe.
But no, so then
Brain Bug comes out.
Yeah, the Brain Bug comes out.
Pretty gross looking bug. It's like a giant oversized larvae. It's got like a...
It's got 16 eyes.
Yeah. And it has this like... looks like a stinger, but it's like a straw.
What is it coming out of?
Its face?
What, the mouth?
Yeah, it had like a butthole mouth.
With like goo hanging out of it.
Yeah. And out comes the straw.
Yeah.
And he chooses Xander first, and he sucks that brain out. And the life just leaves Xander. And then right after the sucking is done, there's like a pop, and then Xander lets out a scream, which I don't get that.
Did he?
Yeah, he was like,
ah! That's funny.
That was it. But it's like, I don't think he'd be able to. Because his brain's gone.
I know. Brain experts, let us know.
So then they're getting ready to do the same to old Ibanez.
But she has a little dagger in her hand.
He gave it to her.
Gave it to her, and she had it in her hand. And then she just cuts off the sticky sucker.
Classic sticky sucker.
And she looks like she's going to get killed by all the bugs, but then...
Because they are not happy about
they're pissed.
Because she just hit Queen Mama.
She hurt Queen Mama brain. But then old Johnny Rico... Dude from Walking Dead.
Seth Gilliam's the actor. Don't know the character. Don't care.
And the Buse Goose shows up. And
Buse Goose. the Buse is on the loose.
The Buse. They've loosed the Buse. And so they clean house. They kill some bugs.
They don't really clean house though, right? They get her back with them, and they're like shooting, but there's all these like angry bugs and
the Walking Dead dude cleans house because he gets the nuke.
Yeah, he does get the nuke.
They escape. The brain bug also escapes.
That's what they did. They held the nuke up, and they're like, we'll blow this place to smithereens.
Because it's a brain bug, so it's smarter.
Yeah,
so it's like, oh shit.
The whole idea with the propaganda was like, these are mindless drones. They don't know anything. But you see throughout the movie that they actually kind of do know stuff. Plans. Like with the plasma shots.
Yeah.
They know what to do there. They had plans. They set up the ambush. So you see that there's intelligence there. And I guess... our roughnecks realize that too, and that's how they use the nuke as like a negotiation almost. Yeah. They get Carmen, and they're like backing up, and then they just open fire as the brain bug leaves, and they just run, right?
Yeah.
They might shoot the nuke too, I don't remember. But
the nuke gets exploded at the end when the dude gets hurt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he did like the last stand.
And he's like, F you bugs, and then blows up.
Yeah. That was a good Seth Gilliam, or I don't even think that's his name, I forgot.
I think it might be.
Sure.
But yeah, so they run back out, and then when they get out of the caves, they see all their troops running. They're like, it's over! We got it! Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's like, we got the brain bug! And then they run up, and they see that their drill sergeant is getting carried by everyone.
Clancy Brown himself.
Clancy Brown. And it's a throwback to a little throwaway line, which Dean Norris said to him during Basic. The only way you can... join the war. The only way I'll let you join the effort is if you demote yourself to like private. Yeah,
because Sergeant Charles Zim, that was his name. He wanted to go as soon as like the meteor hit Buenos Aires, and then Dean Norris was like, "Oh, you can't go. We need you here to train our troops." He's like, "If you want to go, we'll have to demote you to private."
Yeah,
and they just leave it at that. And this is like an hour later, so this was actually a good callback because I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And they address him as private, and he salutes to Rico. It was a cool. It was
fun. Yeah. And so they did catch the brain bug.
Yeah, and Neil Patrick Harris comes back out. Dr. Carl.
Dr. Carl Jenkins.
And so it's the three of them again: Dr. Carl, Carmen, and Rico, who were in high school together. They made this weird like friendship pact
to always be friends.
Yeah, Carmen was like, "Let's just remember, we're always going to be friends." When like Dr. Carl was like a total dick to Rico the whole time.
Yeah.
If Carmen and Rico's relationship didn't work out, which it didn't, that's awkward.
Yeah.
But, you know what? They ended up being friends.
But they got the brain bug.
And they caught it.
And Carl puts his hand on it and just like focuses for a second. And he's like, "It's afraid. It's afraid." And everyone starts cheering. It's
like,
really
we
funny.
did it!
Yeah.
The last like news broadcast that it shows is them like torturing it. They're like, we'll figure out its intelligence.
Oh, learn its secrets, and it shows them drilling its like sticky spot.
Yeah.
And then
drilling the stick.
Yeah, it shows Captain Ibanez.
Yeah.
Piloting
her
brand new ship with Amy Smart as her number one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Xander died. We
mentioned that.
There was no saving him.
And they're like, we need good people to enlist. And seriously in propaganda. Yeah. It's really funny. Yeah. But like Ibanez. They're like, or you could join Rico's Roughnecks. And it shows Johnny Rico like yelling something out like, do you want to live forever? And then running off with a gun. And it's like, or you could be intelligent. It shows him again.
Yeah.
So it just shows all those characters.
Yeah. And it did end up as being like a propaganda ad, basically. Yeah.
Which, I mean, it stays true to its bones the whole time.
Yeah, no, I mean, no bones about it.
Yeah. Like we said, it's a pretty straightforward movie. It's obviously a satire, but it's fun. I
struggle to see how someone could miss the satire, but I guess if you're just taking it at face value and not really thinking about it, maybe...
It's,
I mean, the whole time, I even commented that their uniforms look like Nazi uniforms, and that was like a purposeful decision.
Yeah, very
And it's a commentary on the whole military complex and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said at the start, it's very on the nose. It's not the kind of movie I really love, like these over-the-top action, but the satire and ridiculousness of it, it's enough to get me there, you know?
Yeah, I think it's a fun watch. Like, Jodie put her phone down and watched the whole thing with us without being distracted, and we didn't really need to stop it. We stayed pretty engaged.
Yeah, for sure.
I've seen this movie at least 3 or 4 times.
It's not too long either. So.
And I was still engaged the whole time. Yeah, it's not that long. It works, I think.
Yeah.
Do you think it's better than Contact?
No, I think Contact's better.
I like Contact better, too.
Contact's good. I mean, I also like hard sci-fi movie like that better than an action sci-fi movie like this, even though this is satire. I don't like the like purposefully kind of stiff performances. Whether or not they're purposeful, I don't know.
I love when people try to defend the prequel trilogy from Star Wars by saying like the acting's done on purpose because it's to reflect like old serials. I'm like, this is a better example of that. This is to reflect more like World War II type of films where the acting is very, very surface level.
Yeah.
And even there, it's like, this works for this movie in this moment, but it wouldn't work for extensive viewing, and it doesn't work on everybody.
Yeah.
But like I said, some actors handle it a little bit better in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know for, like you said, for Johnny Rico, that is a big question. Is he supposed to be the stiff upper lip kind of guy, but is still like, you know, just emotionless?
He's the one who you can see the most as being the satire on that, like, tough, hard as nails, no-nonsense guy. But, like, Denise Richards wasn't good in this. Carmen Ibanez is, like, a nothing character.
Yeah.
There's nothing interesting
her breakup
about her.
letter is literally, like, her best scene.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it's not very good.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Not intentionally fully.
Yeah. So. And I don't see why that performance would be purposefully terrible. Like, I don't see the satirical message of it. I just think it was just a really bad... I mean, Denise Richards is not a great actress. Right? So.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine, Denise. You're doing fine.
I heard she's not been in a good way lately. So.
Probably not. But
hopefully you're doing fine.
Just try not to diss her, is all I'm saying.
Hey,
it's funny, Denise.
I still love her. So. Do you have any more thoughts on Starship Troopers?
I kind of do. I think I read Ender's Game shortly after I first saw this.
Yeah, this is kind of a good satire of Ender's Game.
And the book Ender's Game I loved when I first read it. I've reread it a couple times. I still enjoy it. And it is kind of funny to like think of the differences between these texts. Not the Starship Troopers book, the Starship Troopers movie, and this rendition. Yeah, like there's some good parallels as well as contrasts. That
like the war games, how they dehumanize the enemy, and
like that whole portion of it. Yeah. So I kind of enjoyed that. I don't think I'll ever watch the sequels of this movie.
I'm not that into the idea of sequels.
Not even that into the Ender's Game movie.
So, I'd be interested in watching the Ender's Game movie. Wasn't it a 60%? Was it 59? It was like right there.
Yeah.
We listed it off in one of our episodes. I'm not interested in watching a Starship Troopers sequel that's taking itself seriously.
No.
Like, There's not a place for that in my mind.
I would like to see Verhoeven dip back into science fiction with like today's technology.
I think
maybe
Elle
not
did some stuff.
Did it? I wasn't sure if Elle...
I haven't seen Elle. I've just seen the trailers, and I know video games are involved in some way, and I don't know if there's anything like within the game and real. I don't know anything about it, so I just know it got great reviews.
Overall, yeah. I mean, if you haven't seen Starship Troopers and you either like Verhoeven or want to see some satire, check it out.
I mean, it's not if you just take it surface level, it's not a thinking man's movie, but when you accept the satire and look at it and really examine it, it actually is.
Yeah. And there's a lot of intention from Verhoeven in it.
For sure.
Yeah, my last thought's just that the screenwriter Edward Neumeier, for some reason, is listed on Wikipedia as being born Eli Raphael Roth, which he's not Eli Roth.
Yeah, no, he's definitely not.
And
Eli Roth is a different person.
Yeah. So that was confusing when I was doing my research.
Yeah, that is confusing.
Yeah, Starship Troopers.
Yeah, check it out.
Let us know what you think.
Let us know what you think at... Where can the good people find us, Max?
You can find us co-ed showering. Or you can find us at thecriticalbreakdown.com. You can find me stomping a bunch of bugs in a propaganda video. Or you can just find me on Twitter at Max Rivera Film.
You can find me trying to decide whether or not to join the military or go on vacation with my parents. Or you can find me at breakdown_Scott on Instagram. Still haven't figured out that Twitter password. But I don't really care about Twitter.
Yeah. So. You just gotta click reset. The fact that you have it shows that you just don't, which is fine.
That sounds a little too involved. We're on Facebook. We're on thecriticalbreakdown.com. Where we have blog posts and stuff. Go read some of those.
Rate us and review us.
Yeah.
On anything, and we'll read them.
Yeah, because we did that today.
Yeah, we'll keep doing it, guys, so you keep doing it too.
Yeah.
The reason we do the ratings, we want the ratings, is because the more people see them, the more views we get on podcatchers. So it's good for us.
Yeah.
And therefore it's good for you guys, because you like listening to us.
Yeah, you want to be the hipster who was in on the Critical Breakdown before its big break, which is right around the corner.
Yeah. You want to drop our jokes and catchphrases?
Yeah, so then when Joe Random when you meet Joe Random on the subway and you can see him grooving to our TV special, you can make a joke. Having already listened to the episode, you can say how about Fly Away With Me, Scott's show.
Or when Meredith from accounting says, who would have thought that Bruce Willis was dead the whole time? You could just yell out, here be spoilers.
Here be spoilers. And other people, the other cool people in the office are going to be like, hey, or they might send you a message on a real-time chat service, perhaps Skype. They might say, like, I heard that you're also a breakdowner. So on that note, Jason Brown did our music, Josh Rivera did our art, and we are out of here. Walter, the podcast dog.
And we're out of here.
Next week on the Critical Breakdown,
we're headed to the compelling world of high fashion with Zoolander, rated 64% on Rotten Tomatoes.
But why male models?
You serious, dude?